This story happens in a galaxy far, far away.
Les rebelles ont lancé une campagne ciblée et organisée. Envoyer des troupes, traquer et arrêter l'axe.
Bix is an old friend of Cassian's, and they have a very complex, complicated relationship. And she is strong, she's super determined and passionate, and sort of lives in this like structure that she's created for herself. And she's the owner of a sow yard and has her own business. And then every now and again, Cassian will come in and sort of shake her world a bit. And she cares and loves him so much that sometimes it's to her own detriment. They built this whole entire city that is about like, I don't know, I almost want to say like 10 blocks, 10 city blocks. And it just felt so massive. And it was outdoors, so you still had the elements of, you know, if it rained in Ferrix. And I would sort of just get lost in it. And it really helped to like ground yourself in this city, and especially for Bix, because she's from there, it was so easy to like connect to where she was from. And so filming, everyone was like a 12-year-old little kid just being giddy about, you know, where we sort of were. You don't get to be in productions where they do this massive set for you, which was 300, it was 360, you could film 360, you would walk to any little bar and open a drawer and there was something in there. I remember something having like running water at one point, and you're like, what have they created? You know, they created Ferrix, and I think you feel it, you know, you feel it when watching it, that this place exists. It was real, and we were there for months.
J'ai besoin de tous les héros que je peux trouver. Pour le bien de tous.
I remember watching it as a child and being sort of drawn into the world, and then I watched it as a young adult, and I sort of understood and grasped, you know, the history and the story itself, and I got fascinated by it, and I kind of pinch myself because here I am now. It doesn't feel different when you're making it, for sure. I think it just happens to be Star Wars, but I think this specific show has such a beautiful story and such a complex story, and it's dark and it's gritty. So I think when making it, you sort of have to separate yourself and forget that it's Star Wars. So no, and the same thing happened with Morbius. I think if you think about it as Marvel, then it's hard to act in something, you know, unless you make it sort of real and there's a story that you're following. So you quickly forget that it's Star Wars. I feel like I'm realizing it's Star Wars now talking about it. This story happens in a galaxy far, far away. This is still people, and we're telling a story about people. And I think that's what sets this story apart, and or this show apart, is because it really is about humans and people from this galaxy. I'm really bad at keeping surprises or I can keep a secret, but a surprise I can't. And I feel like when you're doing a show like Star Wars, it feels all like a big surprise. So it was hard for me to keep it in, but again, you're like trying to protect the audience so much. You're like, I just want to save it so people could watch it. So that was like my main focus and my main goal. It truly does belong to the fans, you know. It's the reason why we protect it, why we don't do spoilers, why we hide every script, why we try not to share it to anybody, why we do this to begin with. So it's all because of them. So it will belong to them. I just think this, you know, I think Tony created such a brilliant, complex show for them, and I'm excited for everyone to see it.